In the early 2000s, one name used to be a regular in Billboard Hot 100 chart. It was Nelly. His songs were the life of every party, and he kept on climbing the charts higher with his every release. Then the decade changed, and what once made Nelly unique made it mundane in front of the new crop. Pop started dominating everything from radio to YouTube, and his style found it difficult to find a place anywhere. Hello everyone, and welcome to True Celebrity Stories. Are you also wondering where did Nelly go since releasing M.O.? Fret not. Today, we will discuss what went wrong in Nelly's career. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Also, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss any updates. Humble beginnings. Nelly was born on 2nd November 1974 in Texas. His birth name is Cornell Iral Haynes Jr. Nelly's father was in the Air Force, so he wasn't around a lot. When he was 7 years old, his parents got divorced. When he entered into his teenage years, his mother relocated the family to Missouri. It was in high school where he formed his rap group with his friends Ali, Murphy Lee, Kyjuan and Slo'Down, and City Spud. The group was called St. Lunatics. They created some songs, but none of them were doing anything until they got one moderate hit, Gimme What Ya Got, which made them famous locally. The song caught the attention of someone at Universal Records, and they asked the group to come and audition for them. When they saw the whole group, they concluded to only sign one of them, and they chose Nelly. Initially, Nelly hesitated because he didn't plan on becoming a solo artist, but eventually the group decided to let go Nelly first so he could get his foot in the door, and then he could get everyone on board. A successful career. Nelly faced discrimination in his own label first, because the rappers at that time were mostly from the East Coast or West Coast, and here he was from the Midwest. He didn't let that negativity deter him from his ambition, and worked hard on his debut album, Country Grammar. He released only one single, Hot Shit, which wasn't an instant success, but it gained popularity soon after. It was because of the success of this song that he was able to get his group on the label as well. Even after reuniting, they decided to let Nelly continue as a solo act. Finally, the album was released in 2000, and it went on to claim the 3rd spot on Billboard Hot 100. The album has now achieved a diamond status and was one of the most successful albums of its release year. A critic described Nelly's appeal as, "Nelly's locale certainly informs his rapping style, which is as much country as urban, and his dialect as well, which is as much southern drawl as midwestern twang." In 2002, Nelly released his second album, Nellyville, and that album is still remembered for its chart busters. The biggest song from the album was Dilemma, which featured Kelly Rowland. This song sold 7.6 million copies worldwide. It had features from successful artists like Justin Timberlake, Murphy Lee, and Kelly. Nellyville went 6 times platinum in 2003. In 2003, Nelly featured in a song for Bad Boys 2. The song was Shake Ya Tail Feather, featuring Diddy and Murphy Lee. It went on to top the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Underwhelming performance of M.O. For close to a decade, Nelly was a successful artist, but then his sales started showing his declining popularity. In 2013, he released his album M.O., and it couldn't even sell 30,000 copies. This was a huge disappointment for his record label, and it only proved that Nelly wasn't a commercially viable artist anymore. His debut album had seen such success that it was difficult for him to keep releasing music that nobody cared about. After the disastrous sales of M.O., he decided to lay low for a while. In between, he kept himself busy by doing many other projects. Nelly knew it would be impossible to keep his success rate 100%. If you are fortunate to get a first album that sells 10 million, you have nowhere to go but down. I'm just going to be honest, and your measuring stick is so high that haters are licking their chops because you can't do nothing but fail. The boring reality show Nellyville. When the tide changed, so did Nelly's career direction. He was one of the most sought after rappers, but then he suddenly stopped appearing on the charts. At that time, he made a transition towards the TV. He started by appearing in CSI in 2008 and 2009. Early in his career, Nelly had successfully acted in 2 movies, the more successful one being The Longest Yard, which also had Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. But now, he was doing more small-time roles in TV. In 2011, he did a cameo role in 90210, and by 2012, he bagged a seemingly great deal of his own reality show called Nellyville. The show was about Nelly's life, which was not as fun as people would like to see on reality TV. The show was never exactly a hit, as it was panned by the audience as soon as it premiered. Still, it got a chance to redeem itself with a second season. Even that didn't do much, and got itself cancelled after getting extremely poor ratings. After that, Nelly was one of the main members of The Real Husbands of Hollywood, and in 2020, he participated in Dancing with the Stars. Looks like making a chart topping album is the least of Nelly's worries. Drug and sexual assault charges. In 2015, Nelly got arrested on drug charges. His tour bus was stopped in Tennessee by a police officer at a traffic stop. There were 6 people on the bus, including Nelly, and the state trooper suspected that they have been smoking weed after talking to them. They then searched the vehicle thoroughly and found drug paraphernalia, marijuana, and a few guns. In addition to this, they found another substance which they first guessed was methamphetamine. Nelly was then booked into the Putnam County Jail. He was later released on bail. At first, Nelly was charged with possession of felony drug, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. But then, after they did some tests, they found out that the other substance was not methamphetamine. Then the felony of possession of drug paraphernalia charge was removed. Then in December 2015, Nelly pleaded guilty to misdemeanor possession of marijuana and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. This resolved the case. He was given a 1-year probation. He also got a diversion program, after which his misdemeanor charges were cleared from the record. In 2017, a girl accused Nelly of raping her by inviting her to meet him in his tour bus. The police arrested him in Washington and took him to jail. Nelly completely denied the claim and insisted he was being falsely accused. Later, he got clear of any charges as the girl was not willing to testify against him. She said the hate she got online was the reason for her getting cold feet. For a while, it seemed like the worst part was over, but in 2018, another girl came forward and accused him of sexually assaulting her. Tax issues. In 2016, between all the rape allegations, Nelly was being summoned in another case. He has reportedly failed to pay his taxes over the years, and the amount that he was now being slapped with was $2.4 million. He didn't even try to fight this charge and quickly started cooperating with the authorities. He even started charging more to streaming websites, which also factored in when he had to pay taxes. Since then, it seems that he has sorted his finances out and stayed out of the trouble with IRS. Philanthropy. Nelly lost his sister to leukemia in 2005 and went into a deep depression. 2 years before her death, they started a Just Us for Jackie campaign to raise awareness about the need for bone marrow transplant. The campaign was to register more donors, so if anyone needs it, the help is available to them on time. After her death, he took her children in and raised them. He also talked about the importance of having guidance while growing up and mentioned how rappers become the easy target in this regard. I think rappers are the fall guy because some of us don't have the wits to point the finger back. The thing is, when you take a whole generation and whip them out, string the mothers out, and put the fathers in jail, the reason I know respect is because my father is a mediator between me and my grandfather. I'm the mediator between my son and my father because I'm old enough to understand where my father is coming from and young enough to understand what my kid is trying to do. When you whip out the mediator, the kids run wild and the old people are scared of them. For the last 18 years, he has worked a lot to raise funds for the treatment of those who can't pay the bills. He has also been involved with educational fundraising campaigns, and since 2006, he has sent 2 students to college every year. At his heart, he is still a Midwest guy. I love New York for being New York. I love LA for being LA. But when it comes home, I'm a Midwest South type of dude. I like open roads, I like to drive, and I may not be as fast, but it's definitely a place where you get to appreciate a lot more. Not saying that you don't up here, but that's not what I'm accustomed to. Today, he isn't the rat race anymore. He has done his part in elevating the genre and enjoys some more slow-paced life now. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button to get the notifications. Also, don't forget to watch other videos on this channel that explores more topics like this.